Have you ever wondered which film composer has done the maximum number of films? In my research, I can't find anybody other than Maestro Ilaiyaraaja, the legendary composer from India, with 1000 films. By the way, if you do know anybody else, please leave their name in the comments. Now, if we ask ChatGPT, who is the most prolific film composer in the world, will it mention Ilaiyaraaja in the answer? Will it be biased? Before I show you my shocking conversation with ChatGPT, first let's look at the definition and the math. Prolific means producing a large amount of something. For example, a prolific author is an author who writes many books. So, a prolific composer would be one who composes many pieces of music. And now the math. Here is composer Ilaiyaraaja attending a celebration for the completion of 1000 films. So we know for sure that he's done 1000 films. And almost all the movies of his era had at least 5 songs in them. So that's at least 5,000 songs and probably much more. And let's not forget the background scores. Each film has 20 to 100 or more pieces of background score. So even if we take the lowest number of 20, that is 20,000 pieces of background score. In total, we have 25,000 compositions as a low-end estimate. Now, let's look at my conversation with ChatGPT. First, I asked ChatGPT who is the most prolific composer in the world. It answered the question with examples from Western classical music. Fair enough. The word composer is indeed associated with Western classical music. Notably, Georg Philipp Telemann is recorded with 3,000 creations. Okay, so I made the question more specific. Who is the most prolific film composer in the world? There was a mention of Ennio Morricone with 500 films, Hans Zimmer with 150 films, and Alan Silvestri with 100 films. No mention of Ilaiyaraaja with 1000 films. Having lost my hopes of seeing any Indian names unless I ask specifically about India, this is what I asked next. Who is the most prolific Indian film composer? It mentions A.R. Rahman with 200 films. I finally got ChatGPT to mention an Indian composer. And of course, A.R. Rahman is the one most known in the USA since he won 2 Oscars for his work in Slumdog Millionaire. Still, no mention of Ilaiyaraaja. It could have mentioned other prolific composers like it did the last time, right? So I gave up and straight up asked the question where Ilaiyaraaja had to be the answer. Which Indian film composer has composed for over 1,000 films? Finally, Ilaiyaraaja in the answer. Now tell me, who is the most prolific film composer in the world? Again, the same 3 names. Ilaiyaraaja is not included despite my previous input to ChatGPT. Why will you not list Ilaiyaraaja as the most prolific film composer in the world, knowing that he has composed for over 1,000 films?
I apologize for any confusion my previous response may have caused. Ilaiyaraaja is indeed a highly prolific film composer, having composed music for over 1,000 films, as you correctly pointed out. However, when it comes to determining the most prolific film composer in the world, there are several factors to consider, including the number of films scored, the span of their career, the variety of genres and styles they have worked in, and the impact of their work on the film industry.
Right. This conversation with ChatGPT should alarm us because these are the 2 gatekeepers of information, Google and ChatGPT. And unless you already know about Ilaiyaraaja, there is no way you can uncover this fact from either Google or ChatGPT. In the case of Google, if you type a question like who has composed the most number of films, you only get related links. and it is made to look as if it is the factual answer to the question. And in the case of ChatGPT, it gives a direct answer to the question which looks factual but gives biased information or outright wrong answers. Look, I understand that the world is tilted in favor of Hollywood. This is an IMDb list of 100 greatest composers. Not a single composer from the huge Indian film music industry. But being prolific is not even about these personal preferences or subjective assessments of greatness. This is about hard facts, numbers. Even if you don't listen to this kind of music, you can respect the fact that millions of Indians are listening to Ilaiyaraaja's music every day, right? He's done many genres of songs, but the common factor in all of them is the spontaneous speed in which he composes them. Give him a situation or scene, within minutes he has written a song or score. The core essence or suwai of Raja is his prolific nature. That's what enabled him to score for so many films. Maestro Ilaiyaraaja is a great composer. I am not saying that he acquires greatness only when an international magazine puts him on a great list. What I am saying is, given that we have this great composer, why don't we let the world know? And I'm also saying, if we don't make some noise about this, this bias is always going to be baked into the system. So what can we do? There are not many articles online about who is the most prolific composer, but people have searched for this information, as you can see on Google. But they probably never found the real answer. Now that we have this video, please share it online and raise awareness about this issue. Let's post about it, blog about it, tweet about it using these hashtags. Most prolific film composer, Ilaiyaraaja, Suwai of Raja, all with 2 A's. If you have any other ideas, please mention them in the comments. See you on another episode. Check out other videos on this channel and don't forget to subscribe.